On the afternoon of November 24, 1971, a well-dressed man walked calmly into an airport in Portland, Oregon. He was polite, he was quiet, and he carried a small black briefcase. No one noticed him, no alarms rang, no suspicion was raised. Within 4 hours, that same man would hijack a commercial airplane, collect $200,000 in cash, parachute into the darkness over the American wilderness, and disappear forever. No body was found. No identity was confirmed. No clear answer was ever given. More than 50 years later, the FBI closed the case, but the mystery remains unsolved. Who was D.B. Cooper? Did he survive the jump, or did the sky claim him forever? This is the story of the man who vanished in the sky. It was the day before Thanksgiving, one of the busiest travel days in the United States. Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 was scheduled to fly from Portland to Seattle, a short 30-minute journey. The plane, a Boeing 727-100, passengers on board, 36, crew members, 6. At 2:50 p.m., a man identifying himself as Dan Cooper purchased a one-way ticket for $20. He was described as mid-40s, about 6 feet tall, 170 to 180 pounds, wearing a black suit, white shirt, black tie, dark sunglasses, calm and confident. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, and sat quietly in seat 18C. Nothing about him seemed unusual, until the note. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper leaned toward flight attendant Florence Schaffner and handed her a folded note. First, she ignored it. She thought it was a phone number. But Cooper leaned closer and calmly whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside the note were 8 words that would shock the entire nation. "I have a bomb in my briefcase." Florence was told to sit beside him. Calmly, without panic, Cooper opened his briefcase, just enough to show what appeared to be dynamite sticks connected to wires and a battery. Then he gave his demands. $200,000 in cash. For parachutes, 2 main, 2 reserve, a fuel truck ready in sea. No police involvement. If his demands were not met, he said, the plane would be destroyed. There was no shouting, no threats, just cold confidence. The cockpit was informed. The FBI was contacted immediately. This was America's first successful skyjacking. Authorities feared mass casualties. They complied. As the plane circled over Seattle for nearly 2 hours, police scrambled to collect the ransom money. The cash consisted of $10,000 bills, all serial numbers carefully recorded. Meanwhile, Cooper remained calm. He ordered another bourbon, paid for drinks for the flight attendants, spoke politely, never raised his voice. One flight attendant later said, he wasn't nervous at all. He was in complete control. At 5:39 p.m., Flight 305 landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. The runway lights were dimmed to avoid attention. A man in civilian clothes delivered the $200,000 ransom. For parachutes, Cooper inspected everything carefully. Then he allowed all passengers to leave, 2 flight attendants to exit. Remaining on board, the captain, first officer, flight engineer, 1 flight attendant, Tina Mucklow. Now things became even stranger. Cooper ordered the plane to take off again. Destination, Mexico City, but with specific conditions. Fly low, below 10,000 feet, speed at 170 knots, flaps set at 15 degrees, rear stair lowered during flight, cabin unpressurized. These were highly technical instructions. Only someone with aviation knowledge would know this. The Boeing 727 was one of the few aircraft capable of flying with its rear stairs open. This detail alone suggests Cooper had inside knowledge. Was he a former pilot, a military paratrooper, or something else entirely? At 8 p.m., the plane took off again. It was raining. The sky was dark. Visibility was poor. The temperature was near freezing. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Cooper made his move. He told Tina Mucklow to go to the cockpit and close the door. At approximately 8:13 p.m., The crew felt a sudden change in pressure. A warning light flashed. Rear stair deployed. D.B. Cooper had jumped into pitch-black night, heavy rain, dense forest, unknown terrain, altitude 10,000 feet, speed 170 knots. And just like that, he was gone. The FBI launched an immediate search. More than 800 soldiers, 40 aircraft, helicopters, local police, National Guard, scoured the forests of Washington, Oregon, Northern California. They found no parachute, no body, no weapon, no briefcase, no bomb, nothing. It was as if the man had vanished into thin air. Experts remained divided. Arguments: he died, no skydiving gear, jumped into wilderness, poor weather, night jump, inexperienced parachute selection. Many believe he hit trees or water and died instantly. Arguments: he survived, carefully planned escape, chose correct aircraft, used military-style parachuting, never made mistakes, no body ever found. And then, something extraordinary happened. In 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram was digging along the Columbia River. He found 3 bundles of cash, $5,800 total. Serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom. The money was buried in sand. How did it get there? Was it dropped accidentally? Did Cooper die nearby? Or did someone else plant it? No more money was ever found. Over the years, dozens of suspects emerged. 1. Richard Floyd McCoy. Similar hijacking months later. Paratrooper. Aviation knowledge. But was in Utah during Cooper's hijacking. 2. Kenneth Christensen. Former paratrooper. Worked for Northwest Airlines. Bought land after hijacking. Died in 1994. FBI found no proof. 3. Robert Rackstraw. Vietnam veteran. Pilot. Explosives expert. Criminal history. Claimed responsibility indirectly. FBI investigated for years, then ruled him out. None could be proven. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the D.B. Cooper investigation. Reason: no new evidence. Resources needed elsewhere. But they admitted, "We do not know who D.B. Cooper was." The only unsolved air piracy case in U.S. history. D.B. Cooper became more than a criminal. He became a folk hero, a symbol of rebellion, a master of mystery. Books were written. Movies were made. Conspiracies grew. Some believe he survived and lived quietly. He confessed on his deathbed. He was never real at all. One thing is certain: he beat the system. D.B. Cooper walked onto a plane as an ordinary man. He walked off into legend. No fingerprints. No confirmed identity. No closure. Only questions. Was he a genius criminal? A trained soldier? Or just a desperate man who took a chance? Maybe the sky knows the truth. And maybe the still keeping the secret. If you enjoyed this mystery, like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries that history couldn't solve. And comment below, do you think D.B. Cooper survived the jump? Or did he die in the darkness?